Good Shabbos. Shh. I guess no one's hungry from Thanksgiving, so we can wait a while longer for lunch. And the Lord said to Rivkah, 2 nations are in your womb. Born of struggle, this portion follows the childhood of 2 brothers, Jacob and Esau, twins who are so different and yet forever linked. The Torah already visions them as more than 2 young boys. They stand as heads of 2 peoples and 2 distinct nations. Jacob is our ancestor. We are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Jacob. And Esau is seen as the progenitor of Haman, of the Greeks, of the Romans, and of any group that rises up over the ages to destroy the Jewish people. The portion which describes the trial of 2 young children and Jacob's ascension to receive the firstborn blessing is seen as the first act or the origin story of our continued miraculous Jewish survival in the face of each generation's Esau, every enemy that rises up to tear us down. Dressed in furs to be hairy like his brother Esau, Jacob tricks his elderly and blind father, stealing the firstborn birthright. At that moment, Isaac, the blind, says these words, Hakol kol Yaakov, v'hayadayim yedei Esav. The voice is the voice of Jacob's, but the hands are those of Esau. Classically understood as the voice is the voice of Jacob, the one who devoted one's life to study. The hands are the hands of Esau, the one who devoted their lives to bloodshed. It's this verse which has been a statement for the classic differences between Yaakov and Esav, between the Jewish people and those throughout history who have risen up to defame, persecute, and attack us, the anti-Semites, the enemies of Israel. Ironically, the Midrash on this verse advises these words, so long as the voice of Jacob can be heard in prayer and in study, the hands of Esau will forever be powerless against them. If only that was so. This weekend, we've celebrated Thanksgiving, our fall harvest holiday, with its culinary feast when family and friends gather, perhaps even those who may not see eye to eye, Ohio State and Michigan fans. And all can agree to offer thanks for the goodness in our lives with the hope that we can claim victory this afternoon. Our portion seems at odds with the themes of Thanksgiving, though, when differences and diversity are honored and celebrated, the cornucopia. White meat and dark meat, pumpkin pie and apple, these age-old disputes can simply be settled with an appreciation for the other, acknowledgement of difference, and space on the buffet table for both, living side by side or even perhaps on the same plate. In cooking, there are pairings, 2 dishes that are served together to make a more harmonious and complementary note, to bring out the best flavors in each. Jacob and Esau, bitter rivals, brought out the taste of sibling rivalry. How different our world would be if Jacob and Esau were close partners, working together, sharing their different strengths and goals for a higher purpose. Our portion, which pits brother against brother in this eternal struggle, seems to be more aptly to describe the world we live in today. Or does it? Does this week's brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon give hope that this fragile quiet up north can mean an end to Israel's danger? The rabbis interpret that core verse from our portion, the voice is the voice of Jacob and the hands are the hands of Esau, as the voice is that of a wise man, while the hands have been drawing blood all along. Or the voice is one of cunning because Jacob changes his voice. The rabbis offer a different understanding, that Jacob and Esau actually had the same voice and the same timbre, which can be common among family members, that each have the same voice. Have you ever called someone and you can't tell exactly what person it is? Or you've met with someone and the parent and the child or siblings have that same voice. The rabbis interpret from this that each, Jacob and Esau, had a choice to determine their life path. And at that moment, that's when their paths diverged. Another interpretation of the differences between two brothers is based on hair. As someone whose hairline is quickly receding, we could learn from that. Esau was born with a full head of hair, symbolizing that from early on, Esau considered himself complete. He didn't change. He always had his hair. He never pushed himself to grow, to learn, to expand. But bald baby Jacob wasn't a finished product. He grew, he transformed, symbolized by the hair that he would grow on his arms and head over time. Jacob would leave his home. He would travel the desert, finding love and building a family, growing with each interaction, learning from his mistakes, and finding the inner strength to carry on. This week, among those Israelis who were killed that we memorialized just before in our Shabbat handout and during our moment of silence, one of them was Rabbi Tzvi Kogan of blessed memory. He was a Moldavian Israeli citizen who lived in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. You may have heard that he was kidnapped and later murdered this past week. He was a Chabad rabbi who would often call himself not Tzvi, but Rabbi Steve, to be more friendly. He devoted the last 4 years of his life since the signing of the Abraham Accords to live in the UAE to serve the larger Jewish people. He made a choice to move to a fledgling Jewish community, a transient community of visitors, of travelers in the newly opened Arab nation to Israelis and Jews, to be the kosher provider, to run a kosher grocery store in the middle of the desert, and oversee the kashrut of the community, driving all across the desert sands to provide kosher meals regardless of one's location or needs. He devoted his life to providing hospitality, haknasat orchim, to building multi-faith relationships in a Muslim world and ensuring that any Jew could feel at home in a foreign land. When we read the words from our Torah portion, the voice is the voice of Jacob, the hands are the hands of Esau, let it mean that the voice is a voice of kindness, of respect, of love, of admiration, of truth and peace. And the hands are the hands of one who takes action, one who reaches out and steps up to help others. Today is a significant moment on our Jewish calendar. The Haftarah that our Bar Mitzvah Jacob chanted was a special one, Machar Chodesh. That means that tomorrow is a new day, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the new month when we will celebrate Hanukkah, the holiday that obligates us to bring light in darkness, when only a small amount of oil could burn the brightest flame that could not be extinguished, when great miracles happen there, and our prayer, great miracles will happen once again. Let us aspire to bring light to this world as we prepare for Hanukkah. For Rabbi Kogan and the other Israelis killed this week, do just one mitzvah, one new act of kindness that you haven't planned. Give tzedakah, hold the door for someone, give someone a smile, learn Torah, go out of your way to help one person, pick up the phone, call someone you haven't talked to in a long time, perhaps someone you know who is dealing with an issue, with an illness, with a difficulty, or with a loss. Use that voice of Jacob that we all have. Use the hands of Esau to make this world better, brighter, kinder, and more thankful, one mitzvah at a time. For who knows the consequence and the ripple effect that one good deed can create. Let us have that voice of Jacob, and let our hands do the same. Shabbat Shalom.